gotta do it again. Hold on, one more time.
Hey, okay.
There we go.
So maybe just rammed his freaking cup.
He was so worried about last time. He just... All right.
Baby, come and turn the lights down low.
But, all right, everybody. Hey, welcome to Reaching for the Bars. I'm here with my two buddies, Mary Cook, Dustin LeBar. We have a great episode here for you guys today. We're gonna be talking about the biggest bust. Doesn't have to be sports related, just in general, any bust, drug bust. You don't even know. So we're gonna get into
Drug
that.
bust. Mabry knows about that.
Yeah.
Oh, Mary knows about drug bust.
You're damn right.
A little something.
You're damn right.
On that Highway 95. But
All right. So where are we going with it first? We going sports with it?
Well, so I think first, the CrossFit games are going on. Do you want to talk about those first?
ooh, we can hit that up real quick. I do
Yeah,
have
let's
that.
do
Then the biggest bust. So before we say anything, I've been really thinking about this hard. Obviously, I think the biggest bust of all time is Tom Brady. They wasted a 6th round draft pick.
199th pick. I mean,
Idiots.
who else was sitting there? We need to pull up that draft. I mean, there were some people sitting there.
Like Steve Johnson. 3rd string linebacker from Ohio.
Yeah.
He's like, come on, guys.
Dan Smith from BYU.
And Fudge. All right, guys. So the CrossFit games start today?
Tomorrow.
They did
just
something.
released.
They
just
did something
released
today,
the,
but I don't know what it was.
They just released the workouts today.
Yesterday.
Was it yesterday?
They did. Yes, correct.
I'm a liar.
Yeah, we're off to a good start factually. So.
My fact checker was supposed to be practicing.
All right, so we posted on Instagram our top 5 men and women, each of us, except for Caleb. We had some technical difficulties there.
I don't know. It was. It wouldn't let me post. It says I was a risk to the site. So y'all better watch out.
It's all the pornography. It's fine.
Yeah, let's put. Yeah, that's not
We'll edit that out.
Definitely not.
I forget who my top 5 was now. I have to look on Instagram. Matt Frazier's 1.
Yeah, so I think we all agree Matt, Pat, and BKG. I think that was like across the board. Those 3 were there.
I picked, on top of those, I picked Cole Sager and Chandler Smith.
So I did Cole Sager as well. So you and me had 4 out of 5.
I didn't choose Cole Sager. I went with Noah Olson.
Who's your 5th?
And Chandler Smith.
Okay,
So y'all went 4 for 5 and we went 4 for 5. But I went, his name is the Russian kid.
His name is the Russian kid?
Romakov.
You nailed it. I'm sure that's exactly it.
Dude, go up. It's up a hair. Roman Krevnikov.
That's not a bad pronunciation.
Yeah, you said that pretty good. That was better than I thought.
That was pretty good.
Roman
I'll give you credit.
That's a lesson to everybody. All Russian names are pretty much the same.
You just mumble through
I
it.
just mumbled through
and
it.
then say Av. Av.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you nailed that.
No, that's my dark horse. I think he's sneaking in there. I read some stuff. I didn't get this information on my own.
I feel like if you only type in top 5 though, like that's tough.
Let me give a quick shout out here to
Dark horse.
Matt Frazier, Patrick Vellner, Cole Sager, BK Goodmanson, and Chandler Smith. I tagged you all on Instagram, and I haven't got a response, or you haven't liked any of my things. It's pretty rude, but
I tagged all mine as well.
I see that.
All right,
Did you tag all yours, Caleb?
I would have, yes.
But you didn't.
But I didn't because I wasn't able to post.
So let's go through the girls. Who do you think? Tia's a shoo-in.
Yeah, that was my dark horse.
Tia, you picked the right one.
Yeah.
For those of you that aren't CrossFit fans, Tia Toomey went to the Olympics as a weightlifter and also has won the CrossFit Games now 3 times in a row. So she is almost as fit as I am, like pretty close.
Yeah, she's
So-
up there.
Rachel, so I tried to get Rachel to post on it too, and it wouldn't work. I don't know what's going on. Whitney household kind of coming down right now, but she wanted to put Brooke Wells in her top 5 so badly. She's like, I just want Dusty to comment back to me.
I would have.
She's stirring it up.
I almost posted Brooke Wells' name and been like, not making it. But I didn't.
I think I'm trying to think who we had consistently.
So just so you know, mine were Tia, Kara, Kari Pierce. Oh, those are Mabry's.
I was going to say, those are mine. That's exactly mine.
Tia, Sarah Cigna's daughter, Laura Horvath, Kara Saunders, Amanda Barnhart.
So mine were Tia, Cara, Carrie, Sarah, and Katrin.
I almost picked Katrin because of the six or the max handstand hold.
But it's only one event.
And it's also there's a front squat in there, which she'll do just miserable at. And
dude, those workouts though are typical CrossFit. She's gonna do
Danny Spiegel's about to crush.
Dude,
that
I was this close to picking Danny Spiegel, like this close, and then it was between her and Amanda Barnhart.
Ooh.
I like Amanda Barnhart on the row.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna be a separator.
I was gonna say both of them are those are two events, like the row and the front squat. Dude, they're both gonna be pretty tough.
So if anybody cares, I picked
nobody cares.
Tia, Kristen Holta, Jamie Simmons.
It's a good pick.
Jamie Simmons took second last year, and you guys didn't put him in your top. Neither one of you put him in the top 5.
Well, so
it's not
mistake.
It's about making it to the games to this qualifier.
Yeah, I was gonna say, dude, she's a phenomenal athlete, but dude, when you put 1,000-meter row and a front squat in there in 6 events, and that's 2 of them.
That's right,
dude. Like that's gonna hurt those girls.
I also put Sarah, Sigmund's daughter.
Yeah, I think we all had Sarah, didn't we?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then I also put.
You get one more.
Amanda Barnhart. So I think
So the only 2 that we consistently put in there were Tia and Sarah.
You picked Amanda Barnhart.
I did not. No.
I was torn between Amanda Barnhart and Danny Spiegel. If the event was have the thickest legs, Danny Spiegel would have been on my top list there.
Cara Saunders goes to a run.
She does. Cars are so much more compact.
Yeah.
Like they've squished them down, but whatever, it's alright.
But yep, that's our top 5 for.
So wait, while we're on the subject, before we get rolling, who's our biggest bust of the CrossFit Games?
Out of all these people,
I'm saying, like, who's your bust for the guys and who's your bust for the ladies?
So let's take it this way. So let's take our top 5 and see who do you think has a chance not to make it out of your top 5 as like a bust.
Oh, okay.
So I think Matt Fraser's gonna make it, but
that would be
going out on a limb there, huh?
I think Matt Fraser's gonna probably do pretty good. The bust for me could be Pat Velmer.
I know, but I thought about that. But these, like, I'm pretty sure he's pretty good on his hands. And front squat, Pat Velner's shown pretty consistently that he's strong as crap.
You don't want to see Chandler Smith on a front squat. Anything strength.
Chandler Smith's gonna destroy that front squat. I feel like he's gonna do really well on the row too, because
he will. He's just pure power. If you can muscle clean 365.
I'll say this: if Chandler Smith was in my top 5, he'd be my bust. Obviously, I say that because he's not in my top 5. Yeah. I just don't think he's going to get there.
I think there's like out of this top 30, there's guys I've never heard of and girls I've never heard of. So it's like they could make it, they could not.
So like guys, I think it's like you get Matt Fraser and
that was my private jet flying in.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
That's where we're going to our next show.
We're up beside a train. Don't worry about it.
I think you get like I would almost say that like BKG is more consistent, and I like him better in this than Pat Velner. Like if I had to put money,
BKG's
I think
pretty
BKG's going to be there. Like you're telling me he's not going to make top 5, he's going to make top 5.
I think he will.
I think biggest bust in all of the CrossFit Games. I think Fikowski's not going to do very well.
Ooh, see, that's kind of what I was looking for. Like that's
just
a good
in general, like somebody you
think a name that you know.
A perennial contender that's going to bust. It's tough to say, man.
I think Fikowski's not going to do well.
He infuriates me because any documentary you watch, he's like, I just decided to win that event, so I went out and did it. And dude, just decide to win every event, and then you'll just win the games. Yeah. It's so easy. If that's the way your brain works, you should just do it that way.
That's what Rich Froning did for about 4 years in a row. So
that's right.
Girl wise, if we're looking at my top 5, I think I'm thinking Cara Sanders, because you can go either way with her. I mean, she's got a lot of exterior things going on as far as like she's gonna be working out at like 2 a.m.
Well, no, they have the time schedule now. They help.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they did.
Oh,
they have that to help them out.
But she's got the kids. She's coming back from being pregnant all last year. I mean, this is her first year back.
She did really good at the Rogue Invitational.
She did.
So.
Yeah. I will say this. So for the women, for me, when I think of bust, and it's someone that I think we all say they're going to be there, Sarah Sigmund's daughter. She's just that type that sometimes she just doesn't come through when you want her to. Like it's like I could see Sarah busting right here. It's so frustrating because I want Sarah to like.
She's so mental.
Yeah,
she's
man.
more mental than anything. Physically, I think she could win the CrossFit Games. Mentally,
should have, but she just hasn't done it. She hasn't been there.
As a whole, I'm looking at Katrin David's daughter, honestly, because I feel like she's been starting to fall off a little bit. Like, is she gonna make a push to get back in that top 5, or is she gonna fall off completely and just like be out?
I just think she's on that Ben Bergeron thing where it's like gotta be skinny.
Yeah.
And that's just not what's gonna get you to the
Dude,
CrossFit.
Super ripped.
Yeah. Dude, look at like a lot of the girls now are just showing like women. You should embrace like your body type. I mean, men are the same way though. I mean, you have to like do what's best, like what fills you out. And makes
you gotta be
best.
down with the thickness,
dude. It's like you gotta get it. Let's go.
You gotta do it.
A 6-pack's cool, but
you know what's cooler? $300,000. It's way cooler.
One thing we didn't mention is Carrie Pierce. I think Carrie Pierce could probably.
You picked her.
I put her in my top 5.
Did you?
Yeah.
That's a smart choice. I think that's a good choice.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking.
I mean, me personally, I didn't choose her, but I mean, you.
I don't like her in this. I don't like her. I don't like her in this, especially with these workouts.
I know, but
Dusty's like, I don't know. Your top 5 is terrible, baby.
Yeah.
Except for the ones that match mine. The rest of them are dog shit. Anyone that didn't match mine, but no. The reason I don't like Carrie Pierce is the gymnastic thing that she would do great at, the handstand walk or the handstand hold, fine. The bar, she'll do great at the strict handstand push-ups, but that barbell's heavy. Mm-hmm. And then the same thing with the Fran. She'll do great with chest to bar, but I think that thruster might get to her. I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, it's going to be...
I just think Carrie Pierce is just one of those people who's been around. It's got a lot of stuff. Like you're talking about, when I think of this, when I look at these events, I think they're going back to a little bit of OG CrossFit. I almost put Noah Olson in my top 5 because like you're going back to those people who've been doing it longer, are going to have that like repertoire to pull from, and like Diane, Fran, like they've done these things a million times. The only reason I didn't put Noah Olson in there is because I just personally don't like him.
There's people in CrossFit
I don't personally like Noah Olson either. I don't like his attitude and stuff like that. But with that being said, I'm choosing the top 5. I'm not choosing the personality. I'm choosing the top 5.
Basically, what I went with is I was going to go Noah Olson, and I was like, I don't like it. So I went and I was like, you know what? I did some research, and I was like, this Russian guy, Roman Krevnikov, he's gonna get.
It was different this time, but it's fine.
You go look. That's it now. I've seen that.
So I would have much rather chosen Cole Sager over Noah Olson. Just putting that out there, in case for some reason one of these guys watches. Cole Sager is one of my favorite athletes.
There's always these CrossFit athletes that are great CrossFit athletes. Like when you look when Camille was doing really good at the games, she was great at CrossFit, but not an athlete that you would say like I would consider Matt Frazier an athlete in terms of like, hey, you've never done this before, but try to figure it out. He would, but if it was straight CrossFit, I like Camille the same way I like that's the way a lot of those people are going to be. Is they're going to have some athletes that if it's just CrossFit, but when they get to the ranch, I think they're going to do some weird stuff. For those people that don't follow CrossFit, if you're watching, they're basically doing an online 6 to 7 online workouts, which will dictate 5 people, 5 guys, 5 girls that go to California to compete for $300,000 to be the fittest person on earth.
And this first part is the top 30, they're competing virtually. So they're going to be at their homes or at their home gym, whatever it might be, and they're going to be like online. Then the top 5 will compete in person at the ranch.
That's right.
So it's pretty, I mean, with all this COVID and everything like that, like it's smart how they did it, I think.
This is totally, I just had a brain fart. Who's playing tonight football-wise?
The Browns and the Bengals.
Oh, you told me that.
Number 1
The
draft
Battle of Ohio.
Number 1 draft pick versus number 1 draft pick.
Heisman winners.
That's true. Ooh, you're right.
Yeah.
I almost won the Heisman.
Speaking of flops.
So close.
Baker Mayfield,
maybe.
Oh shit! I thought you were calling Mabry out. Speaking of
flops,
where's Mabry's dad at?
We have one sitting right here.
We should have had Mabry's dad on the podcast. We'd be like, I have a flop. I have one. You want to hear who it is? He'd be like, yes, we do. He'd be
my
like,
son.
My son Mabry. He could have made it. I
told you.
If it wasn't for his dang knee.
When we were doing like episode 1 Mabry's dad was telling. We were kind of joking around, and Mabry's dad was like, "You could have made it as a long snapper.
Yeah.
You disappointment."
For all those who listen, I actually don't have bad knees, but my dad did think that I could make it in the NFL as a long snapper, which is the guy who basically hikes it to the punter or the kicker.
I should have done that.
Yeah.
Did you see how those long snappers are built? They're all like 6 something.
Yeah, well, they can, snap a ball with the best of them.
I did it wrong.
Also, granted, when I finished college football, I couldn't walk, so my career wasn't like, let's
Yeah, but
try to make it
as a long snapper,
you have to run down the field and tackle.
how many times a game?
Yeah, not many, but if you can't walk, they're probably gonna be like, hey, no, there's other people who can walk. We're gonna pass you up.
I don't know if they would say that.
Well, I feel like
all you need is a Vince Papale who's gonna take care of you.
Unless
here's some shoulder pads, put them away. I don't need those. That's too much.
Unless you're the Dolphins who have like unlimited draft picks, who drafted a long snapper this year, by the way. I mean,
yeah,
you're not going to get drafted.
People are actually doing that now. Like they're drafting long snappers. That's a real thing. It's deep.
It's a high pressure. It's a high pressure pick.
You got to have ice in your veins. But I've learned that I played on offense. So if you're tired and you run in there, you ever done something that like demands like high pressure situation, and you do it when you're tired? You're like, you don't care. Like the nerves aren't there. You're like, I gotta just do what I can do. You're like, forget it. That's the best thing to do. Just be tired. So.
That's just the best thing to be tired. Do you think Vince Papale was the biggest anti-bust of the world?
Maybe.
Like, it was like, look at this scrub from Philadelphia. He's going to play for a professional football team. And he was like, if you don't make me wear shoulder pads and I can go head first, we're going to solve some things.
I'm pretty sure Vince Papale would get flags now in the NFL. They'd be like, you can't do that.
You can't jump from 10 yards away with your helmet, with your arms behind you like a torpedo.
Are you trying to hurt people?
He was
Sir.
He's like,
were you not part of the unity hold at the beginning? You don't hurt people out
Vince
there.
Papale's out there like throwing his head around like it's a missile, and he's like, they're paying me $37,000 a year. You think I'm not going to try to kill myself? And now their guy's like, I stubbed my toe, I'm going to take 3 weeks off. I'm going to need that paycheck. Can you Venmo me? I need some money. It's going to be fine.
Dude, that turf toe will slow you up.
So,
for sure.
So to recap, we're going to talk about the biggest bust just in general. It doesn't have to be sports related. I think this is a super fun one because you can talk about a lot of stuff. I have some interesting things that I thought of when we were talking about this week. Obviously, my number one bust is Tom Brady. I already said that. I mean, they wasted a 6th round draft pick. They could have got a long snapper.
Yeah,
that's true.
You think how many Super Bowls they won with Tom Brady? 6?
Man, I don't even know.
6. I'm pretty sure it's 6.
So it's 6. They would have had 8 if they got a long snapper.
I mean, they would have had how many since ever since Aaron Rodgers entered the league? They would have had every single one of them.
So.
Just putting that out there.
Yeah.
I'm torn. I know we can go through all these. We don't have to go through them all.
No, we won't.
I'm torn between Ryan Leaf, who was more towards when I was younger, and a guy by the name of Jamarcus Russell.
Yeah, I just saw Greg Oden. I completely forgot about that. That's a pretty big one.
Greg Oden's a huge
We're talking,
bust.
Dude,
we're talking about any sport, but
yeah. I'm sorry. I know you're talking. I just saw that. I was like,
You just forgot about him. I don't even know who that guy is. Anyway, but Jamarcus Russell was like, he got drafted, and he was like, hey, how do you guys feel about a 350-pound quarterback? And they were like, not good. You shouldn't be 350. He's like, let's try it out. Let's see how 350.
He's a great comparison of why being great in college does not ultimately correlate to being great at NFL. Like, take Carson Wentz, for example. He played for North Dakota State. He was great at college, but he was at a D2 school blowing people up. But they saw something. Like the scouts, the coaches, they know there's something that's you need to put. They've learned over the years. You can't just be you're a great quarterback. You're going to be great in the NFL. It doesn't work that way. I mean, it just doesn't.
I would like to. I'm a Gator fan, so I'm not impartial. But
the Florida Gators. In case anybody was wondering.
But
not the Gator having.
Can we just talk about for a second how on this website, Bleacher Report, you put Tim Tebow on here. The dude won a playoff game against the Steelers, who's a very, very good football program.
Took the Broncos to the playoffs.
And then took the Broncos to the playoffs. Won the first playoff game, and then wasn't given a shot anywhere else. So how is he a bust?
There's a huge distinction between a bust and somebody that just is not going to be a Super Bowl winning quarterback. There's plenty of those guys. They're not all busts.
Yeah.
I will say this. That's a great example. I've always said that Tim Tebow should still be playing in the NFL right now. The dude is a winner. Like, you can say what you want to. He's not like a
He's not going to be the Peyton Manning, drop back, throw the perfect
The dude
pass.
won football games. And, like, okay, the Denver Broncos now have Drew Lock, he's a really good quarterback.
Sure.
But until then, they have been just wading water. Like, you're telling me you couldn't have Tebow in there, like, lighting it up, putting, like, butts in the seats? Like, I mean, that's just dumb on their part.
You know who figured out how to do something with somebody like him is Sean Payton from the Saints with, what's his face?
Taysom Hill.
Taysom Hill.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, that kid is like, they're like, hey, man, we're going to put you in a bunch of different positions, and you could easily be like, no, I'm a quarterback. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But he's out there to win football games. That's
The dude
truly
is
what
a
it
unit.
is.
I mean, the
Yeah.
first play of the Saints this season, they gave the ball to Taysom Hill.
I mean, he's an athlete. What's his 40? It's fast. He's fast. He's fast.
I don't know. I watched him split two defenders this weekend, and he was like, I was like, that dude's from BYU.
He's an athlete. I mean, he's for sure an athlete.
No doubt.
So some of my other busts, Michael Jordan.
Are you looking at the right? What do you have
What's
pulled
that
up?
biggest bust of all time?
Are you looking at the greatest of all time or the bust of
No,
all
I got
time?
Michael.
So, judging by that
Michael
comment,
Jordan.
that you would say that LeBron James is the best basketball player.
He's the second biggest bust of all time. I'm looking at this right.
Here's
Vince Young.
here's a more recent one. It's Vince Young. I don't know if he's a true bust, but
I think what the reason they're saying that is because there was a huge expectation there, and he didn't live up, but I don't know if he would be biggest bust of all
I
time.
don't think he's on the top.
Like, Jamarcus Russell was like the stuff, and when he got there, he was a terrible quarterback. Like, Vince Young actually put some games together and like played as a quarterback in the NFL.
I think he had some good games.
Yeah, he put together some good stuff. You know, Jamarcus Russell, unfortunately, he didn't do well.
for those of you who care about other sports besides football and CrossFit, it's gonna be a tough call for you. But I'm just joking.
We're gonna talk about a bunch of other stuff.
We're gonna talk about
Just hang on with us.
I was about to say, if you like to watch grown men run off on tangents, this is the episode. We're about to get wild.
Speaking of, did you see Mike Tyson's most recent video of him boxing?
Oh my god.
Do you think? I mean,
It's
I'm gonna
still
watch
impressive.
I'm gonna watch the fight for
Dude,
sure.
if you don't watch this fight, then you're crazy. There's
But-
no way it's not going to be good.
But
How much do you have to pay to watch it?
it's gonna be $60. I'm sure. It's
We
gonna
can
be
split it.
It's gonna be. We'll split.
Hey.
Let's split it 3 ways, but Mabry
You-
takes most of it.
You two split it, and then I'll be there.
Oh, okay. That's
How much would it cost me to get Mike Tyson to punch you as hard as he could in the liver?
At least
I don't know. But
At
this
least
is
a
for
million.
real. You can get people to like do like.
In the liver? Why is that gonna be the liver?
Well, because I want to hurt like a motherfucker. I don't want you to get. Like, I'm not giving you
Why
money for
can't
no
it be
reason.
somewhere else?
There's like no protection there. Like that's like you're gonna be peeing
That's
blood.
where he aims.
Oh,
Like
I know,
he probably
but he's
doesn't
trying to
know
hurt
to.
people.
He probably doesn't know to throw it anywhere else.
Who is that?
I just. Tony.
He's just a
So wait, this is really important. How much would it cost me to get? Okay, wait. I got a better one. I got $1,000 on the table. You have to choose one.
Okay.
Mike Tyson, liver shot.
Found him.
Mike Tyson, liver shot. Francis Ngannou, face shot.
Francis Ngannou face
You
shot.
think? I think he'd kill you.
No. I mean, he'd probably knock you out, but the face, like you got like bone, like it's gonna hurt like a bitch, and he's gonna like knock you out.
Hey,
but,
for those of you listening, there's bone in your face.
but you're talking about liver shot, dude.
Bone.
Like, liver. Like, you don't have hardly any protection around your liver. Like, dude, he's
I mean, you got
Mike
muscle.
Tyson. Not a lot. Like, hey, look,
That
no one's ever been like, hey, flex
transverse
that muscle.
You know what Mabry's forgetting is there's a thing up here called your fucking brain.
That controls everything else in your body.
Mabry's like, not my liver. It's like, but the here is
Well,
fine.
So you're taking the liver shot from
Oh wait, hey,
I don't want Francis
hold
Ngannou
on.
to hit me in the face.
You're crazy. Maybe you're not wearing a football helmet when he punches you.
No, I'm fine with that.
Oh, okay.
Okay, just to be clear, if Mike Tyson and Francis Ngannou are listening, Francis Ngannou, you can punch Mabry right in the face.
Right in the
for
face.
I would put up $1,000.
I'd take that $1,000.
I know for a fact Laura's not listening, so I can say as much as I want.
I'll take that $1,000. Easy money. Just like you, Duncan.
But
ain't gonna happen.
But you can't.
I'm not gonna do nothing.
You can't.
I would much rather take a Mike Tyson shot to the liver than Have you ever seen Francis Ngannou fight anybody?
Have you ever been hit in the liver?
Wait, what about a hypothetical
Yes.
What about a 1980s Mike Tyson punching you in the liver? Is it the same?
I'm not taking it now. I'm telling you, there's more irreversible damage for sure coming from that shot from Mike Tyson.
I'm just going to disagree with you based on the fact that your brain is in your face.
Say your brain is.
Yeah. But like,
there's more irreversible damage than getting hit in the brain or getting hit in the liver.
This is a for real college football player. It's like, I'll use my head. I'm not going to use.
Francis Ngannou hits people in the face all the time, and he doesn't give them brain damage.
He has the hardest hitting.
How many people on record has he given brain damage?
Probably all of them.
No, that's not true. None. Dude, I'm telling you.
You know what he calls his right hand? CTE.
Maybe so, but I'm telling you. That's the safer shot.
I disagree with you 100%. Dude, Francis Ngannou will explode your face.
No doubt about it. He knocked me out.
Okay,
I'm telling you.
Like,
that liver shot.
Perfect shot, like just straight line up, get your hips into it.
Mabry.
Dude, that liver shot.
Liver shot,
be so
Odin
bad.
watches, face shot, Camille watches. Your daughter.
I'm still going.
You want your daughter to see you get brain damage from Francis Ngannou. You are something else. You're a real piece of shit.
Your unborn daughter.
Who's Mabry's about to be a daddy in about how many weeks?
Daddy
about
number
a month.
About a month?
Yeah.
He already is a daddy. Let's make that clear.
A daddy number 2. Yeah. Odin's gonna be pissed.
Yeah, he is going to be pissed.
I was going to say, are you worried about the way Odin's going to respond to this?
Dude, he's not going to like sharing attention at all.
What's the hardest thing about being a parent?
That's a good question, actually. What's the hardest
How was he this past weekend whenever you spent so much attention watching football and not to him?
Oh, dude, he likes watching football. He's actually a pretty cool kid.
Yeah, just to set the facts straight, Odin is how old?
He's
almost
11
1.
months.
He's
Yeah,
11 months. So he doesn't even know what he's looking at.
No, he doesn't.
And according to Mabry, he likes Pokemon.
Yeah.
And has to watch it. A 1-year-old.
Dude, I had him on Pokemon
I
for
think
a while.
that means maybe
now
he
he's
likes
on
Pokemon.
I like Pokemon. I had him on it
we
for a
know.
while.
No, we know. Yeah.
Well, I had him on it for a while, and then he like went off because they changed the stupid theme song. Let me tell you something. If there's any people out there watching who like create TV shows, don't change the theme song. Hey, keep it. It's working. It's working. Don't change it. Anyway.
Well,
Hardest thing about being a parent, I would say, is going from not being a parent to being a parent. You have to take the selfish factor out of it. It's kind of like a marriage. When you first get married, you learn that like it's not all about you anymore. Like there's another person there. Well, that's loud.
That was the loudest thing I've ever heard in my life.
What is that?
Did you put the microphone up to it? How did you even get that
It's
loud?
under the table. Like,
Jeepers.
but you just multiply that by 2, honestly, and it's like there's some things that you're gonna want to do and you can't. But like when I say it's the stupidest thing, but all they have to do is smile, and it's like nothing else matters. So it's great.
Odin's also like I've been around kids my whole life. Like Odin's a cool kid. He's just like
super easy.
He was crying the other morning when Gabby was coaching, and I walked up and I was like, "What are you doing?" He was like, he looked at me and he was like, "Nothing. I'm sorry. I didn't need to cry. I wanted to get mom's attention, but now that you're paying me attention, it's fine. I'm good with it."
You were talking about marriage advice before?
Yeah.
Just a little
Oh,
bit.
where's this gonna go? I'm super excited about this. This is gonna be incredible.
I would love to hear some marriage advice from Dusty.
The key to marriage. I'm guessing. is to do what you want at all times.
Yeah.
Is never think about anybody else. I think that's the key. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
That's right. Speaking of two married men, I think you're definitely right.
You guys are married?
Mm-hmm.
2 married. I thought so.
Yeah. I love my wife very much.
I met each other.
No. There's nothing wrong with that if we were, though.
No, there's nothing.
Yeah, Dusty was wrong with that.
But
This
we
is
are both
Alabama,
married
right?
to beautiful women that we love.
I mean, I know that Caleb talked about Rachel in the first episode, and you didn't talk about Gabby, but it's whatever it is. It's
Or
fine.
Odin.
I'm sorry. Who's doing our marketing campaign? My lovely wife, Gabby Cook. Shout out.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Shut up.
We're not throwing her under the bus at all right now. It's definitely all you.
That's pretty typical.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Mabry throws himself under the bus a lot. I won't go into the story, but there was one time we were out the Casual Pint. Shout out, it's a Packers bar in Huntsville.
Ooh, yeah. Shout out.
Go Dolphins.
And Mabry said something, and he had been under the influence of alcohol, and me and Laura both looked at him like, you just said that? Like he's like said it in a passing comment, like as a joke, but obviously like Gabby, I was like, she's gonna kill you. She's gonna stab you right in the neck. And she looked at you like she was gonna stab you right in the neck, and we were like, me and Laura were like, it's time to go home. We should probably go home.
Yeah, that's part of it. That's.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Laura looks like she wants to kill me if there's 7 days in a week, minimum 14 times a week, minimum.
Yeah.
I mean, there's multiple.
Sounds
times.
like you are married already. It's just.
Listen, based on the ring pictures she's been sending me.
I mean, how long do you have to live together before it's common law?
10 years.
Is this 10 years? I thought it was 7 years.
I pulled that out of my ass. I don't know.
Me and Laura have been living together for a good bit of time now.
Was Fantastic Four on the top bus movie list there?
I bet you both Fantastic Four movies are on the top list.
Well, the newer one's a little bit better.
A little bit better than what? Dog shit? Like watching dog shit
I
on the
watched that
streets?
the other day, and I was like,
It's not that good. Did you watch it on Disney Plus?
Yeah.
Disney Plus is the shit.
Dude,
I'm just throwing it out
shout
there.
out Disney Plus is the shit.
This podcast is brought to you by Disney Plus. If you like Disney movies and pluses, you're gonna love Disney Plus.
Is Fantastic Four DC or Marvel?
Oh my God, Mabry's about to jump out of his skin.
I did get a little like it's Marvel.
I mean, Fantastic Four isn't one that you really think about. Like
Yeah.
Marvel, like today's day and age, Marvel, they think about the Avengers, they think about all the movies. DC, you think about the Justice League. That's what you think about.
So let me say this. I don't want to go off on a super deep tangent here, but let me say this. There's a lot of like laws and stuff that are going on right now with all the movies, and like the Marvel could have combined X-Men, Fantastic Four into the universe that they already had, which would have been like, I mean, come on.
They might still do it.
Well, I mean, dude, when you have the final scene with Thanos and stuff, it's kind of hard to like, let's bring it back and get Wolverine involved. Like, no,
He just comes out of nowhere and he's slitting people's throats.
I mean, but like, imagine if they opened up the holes, like the Doctor Strange opens up all the portals and everybody starts walking through. If fucking Hugh Jackman walks through as Wolverine, like dude, Storm and them, it's like, and then you got Fantastic Four, like they could have easily done that, but like there's like a lot of.
Yeah, but they weren't connected in any of the Marvel movies leading up to.
Right.
There's like what 22 of them.
Because that's like so in the comics, so they are connected.
I know what you're saying, but in the movies,
in terms of the movies,
Disney
this is
stuff,
way above our head. Like X-Men was owned by Sony
That's right.
and all this other bullshit.
They should all get together though. Like, I mean, dude, how cool would that have been if they did like just popped everybody else together?
Wait, did Disney not like blow up Sony's spot with Spider-Man? Like when they were gonna pull Spider-Man out of the Marvel universe? Like a couple months ago when they were like, there's not going to be another Spider-Man after that cliffhanger in Far From Home.
I don't know. I'll be honest, I'm a huge comic book nerd if y'all haven't caught that from this, but I'm not a big Spider-Man fan.
Really?
And like,
That's surprising.
I know, I'm a Marvel. I'm a Marvel guy, and like Spider-Man was the first Stan Lee. That was his first breakthrough. He was like, Spider-Man.
All right, so based on our topic, biggest bust for Spider-Man. Who was the worst? Was it Tobey Maguire, that English dude, or English dude number 2?
I personally
that dude. I know exactly who you're talking about.
The Andrew Garfield. I don't even know how I know that name.
I don't either.
Andrew Garfield was the second Spider-Man.
And then the third one is the new guy.
I think he's the best. Tobey Maguire. Let me tell you why Tobey Maguire sucks. I grew up with Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man. He was 38 years old. Yeah. And he was like, hey guys, I'm in high school. And everybody was like, no, you're not. You're not in high school. And he was like, I am in high school. And they were like, no.
So personally, I'm going to go Garfield only because...
He's the worst.
He's the worst. Only because I'm...
Is that the newest one?
No, that's the middle one.
Yeah. Dude,
I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, he's a write-off almost. Like, it was a good try, but nah.
And by good try, he means absolute dog shit.
Swing and a miss.
He has 2 movies out too, doesn't he? I think they made 2 with him.
He did.
Yeah,
that's
right.
The one was with Jamie Foxx.
Yeah,
he was like Mr. Electricity.
Yeah,
You're right.
Absorbs electricity.
Yeah.
So, Jamie Foxx, what a talent. What a talent.
Dude.
Everybody was like, he's the Masked Singer. And then he was on and he was like, I'm not.
Yeah.
Who's the name of the last Spider-Man?
English guy number 2.
English guy number 2.
He was the best, in my opinion.
He's the best because he's the most kiddish. It's like he's a kid, you can tell.
That's right.
Yeah, he was super hyper.
So I read some articles on him that he is a complete turd. And
I can see
if you're
that.
watching the podcast, you can post in the comments and call me out, but I heard you're a little bitch. And like they said that, and I was like, it kind of made me not like him as much. But then again, like I said, I'm not a big Spider-Man fan.
Are we looking at movies? This is how we got into this.
This
These are the biggest bust movie. So this list is pulling up biggest bust based on how much money they spent versus how much money they made.
The Justice League in 2017 is on here.
Well, the Justice League was dog shit. Let me tell you.
I mean, it is DC.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Here's a major thing. When they were like, you know who should play Batman? Ben Affleck. I was like, why would Ben Affleck play Batman? They were like, no, hold on. We're going to have him fight Superman. And I was like, that's a horrible idea.
Hold up. Go ahead.
Sahara's on here?
Dude, that's bullcrap.
Can we talk about, which Robin Hood is it? It's not.
Oh, yeah. Click on that Robin Hood.
Which Robin Hood?
It's the new one with
Is the one with Jamie
kid.
Foxx?
No, it's the new one.
Okay, yeah.
It's not that bad, though.
I didn't see it.
I haven't seen it.
It's pretty good. I would watch it. All right, scroll back up a second.
Mabry is pissed about something.
Dude, the Man from U.N.C.L.E. Have you seen this movie? Dude,
No.
You need to watch this movie. This is a good movie. That's bullshit.
Based on this list, I'm gonna say no, it's not.
Dude, I'm telling you, I've watched this movie like 3 times. That's a good freaking movie. That's bullshit.
I think this is how they did in like box office with like how people went to go see their movies and stuff. Not like about actually watching the movie, the quality of the movie.
I got you. I'm taking it too personally.
Can you scroll up?
Land of the Lost?
Land of the Lost with Will Ferrell?
Dude.
Scroll up a couple there, Caleb. No, up.
Why
up.
are people
Wait, stop.
not going to watching this? I will say though, in this standard,
No, down.
Land
Move your
of
mouse.
Lost.
Now up.
L.A. It's
Up
LA.
a little bit. Up. Right there. Oh, yeah. That's a great movie.
This is a great movie.
That's
So
a
I
fantastic
think there's a moment when you're going through movies. Tell me if I'm wrong. There's a different category. Like I gotta go watch this in movie theaters, or
Wait.
I
What
can
was
wait.
it? Where are you gonna watch it?
Theaters.
Theaters.
You know.
Theaters.
Not theaters. Theaters.
This podcast is brought to you from Huntsville, Alabama. It's theaters. All right. So Land of the Lost might have been one of those movies that fell into the.
This podcast is brought to you by IQ levels. 70's pretty good.
So
He's like, is 70 good? I don't know either. I just picked 70. It's not
That's
good.
not good.
Mine's 157. Is that good?
That's pretty
That's
good.
what I thought. Is that genius level? Okay. Land of the Lost is a great movie.
But anyway, you got me off my tangent. So the thing is when you look at movies, there's movie theater movies, and then there's I'll wait for it to come out on Netflix.
Well, so the thing is
That's
like
true.
when you're
That's
talking
very
about a movie bus, these are definitely talking about in theaters, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
But also, there's a ton of movies that go. I've watched that movie probably 5 times. R.I.P.D. Just so you know.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
But there's definitely movies that come out when you watch them and you're like, this is a fantastic movie, and you watch it 1,000 times.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it just is what it is. But I was trying to think, like, from when I'm younger, like, the movies that I thought that, like, people would consider as busts when I was younger. What?
Treasure Planet? Are you shitting me?
Have you seen that movie?
What do you mean? Dude, I love that movie.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
That's a great movie, dude.
I've never seen that movie.
You never seen
2002?
Planet?
Oh my god.
That's a very good movie.
Who is in it?
I mean, it's an animated movie, but dude, it is.
It's like a kids movie.
I'm surprised.
It's on Disney Plus. You
It's
need
from
to go watch it.
2002. Whenever we were kids, and you were probably
I was
in
high
college
school.
or something.
Yeah.
You're definitely in high school in 2002, right?
Yes, I was a freshman in high school in 2002.
Man, you're so old.
God, you're old.
You know what? I hate you both. I mean, there's a lot like Wind Talkers. Wind Talkers is a great movie.
Come on.
It is. Wind Talkers is a great movie.
It's
I
a
don't know why that's on
fantastic
there.
movie.
I'll be the first one to say it. If Nicolas Cage is in the movie, I'm gonna watch it. Maybe not now, but
People hate Nicolas Cage
But-
though.
yeah.
Some people
because he
do.
went-
Some people. I'm not saying me. Some people hate
I'm
him.
just saying
he went
back-
broke and he was like, I need to do some more movies. And they were like, how about this movie? And he's like, I don't give a shit. Whatever movie, I'll do it.
But there was a while where, dude, he was every movie he was in. All right, yeah, I get that one.
No, Zoom's a good movie with Tim Allen.
Yeah, but
Tim the Toolman Taylor. Come on.
The Last Man Standing.
I haven't.
Wrinkle in Time. I mean,
At
dude,
first,
Titan AE.
at first I thought this was Triple X with
Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel, And I was like, no way. Vin Diesel was awesome in Triple X, and I mean, it was completely unrealistic, but regardless. But this is like the sequel to it or something.
Yeah, Ice Cube's in it.
I mean, some of these movies are.
Dude, Titan AE. I used to love that movie, Titan AE.
Did you guys ever watch Tomorrowland?
Oh, yeah.
Good,
Is that,
That's a
who's
good
in
movie.
that?
That's
George
surprising.
Clooney?
George Clooney.
Shit.
Yeah.
Hugh Laurie, Dr. House.
Yeah.
Let's go. Is he Dr. House in that? No.
Unfortunately not.
Can you scroll back up? I want to see anything else before I went. Robin Hood.
Power Rangers?
I watched that twice.
Did you?
Yeah, because I grew up on Power Rangers.
Click
I
on
did too.
Soldier.
I love Power
Click on
Rangers.
Soldier. That's surely not Soldier.
It's in alphabetical order.
Soldier.
I know it's
You want me to click on it?
Just no, just like I want to see the movie.
It's up there.
Just.
No,
Is it not up? Is it frozen?
It's frozen.
Oh my god.
Is it Kurt Russell in
It's
it?
not frozen.
It's Kurt Russell.
It's working right now, Caleb.
Oh.
Alright, go back to Soldier. It's not.
His mouse is
That's
working.
from 1998.
Is Kurt Russell in it?
Is that not? Yeah, Kurt Russell's in it.
Oh my god, dude, that movie is amazing. Alright, let's move on from this. This
Wait,
list is a bust.
are you
Let me
gonna-
tell something.
this list is
This
terrible.
list is a bust.
Are you going to reset this, Caleb?
I can, real quick.
Sorry.
Okay. So when I was looking up biggest bus while Caleb is doing this, I looked up biggest car bus of all time.
Car?
Like vehicles.
Like a vehicle?
So
How do you wait, first of all, for our listeners and myself, how do you bust as a vehicle?
I guess it would be like how many you put out versus how many people buy. There's got to be something.
Okay.
Something like
so
that.
basically
I
the
don't
same
know.
way the movies were busting.
Sure.
How much went into it?
So
Sure.
number one, I don't care what you're saying. I just want to get to my point and I want to move on.
I can
Okay, so everybody's seen the movie, which is definitely not a bust, is Back to the Future.
Yes.
Okay.
DeLorean.
So on this list, the DeLorean is the biggest bust of all time.
How
But
can
let
that
me
be?
let me put this out there. So years ago, and my dad is probably not listening because he doesn't know how to use any technology, but maybe my mom is listening. My dad was at a car show in Carlisle, Pennsylvania.
You told me this.
Pretty near where Caleb's from. And he called me because he wanted my advice, like I know more than him. And he was like, hey, I'm looking at, you ever seen Back to the Future? And I was like, yes, I'm a human being that lives on planet Earth. I've seen Back to the Future. He was like, oh, they have a DeLorean here for sale. It's like super cheap. I'm thinking about buying it. So my mom, him and her, like back and forth, are like, maybe you should get it, whatever. She doesn't want to drive it home because they only took one car. So she's like, don't get it. So he doesn't get it. It was a couple $1,000, whatever it was. My dad comes probably 2 weeks later. He walks in and he's like, hey, guess what happened? And I was like, I don't know what. He's like, John DeLorean died. And I was like, okay, who's that? He's like, the guy that made the DeLorean. I was like, okay. He was like, the price of that car went up like 10 times.
Oh my god.
And I was like, he was like, your mother. He's like,
Your
she
mother.
didn't want to drive it back. I could have made a shit ton of money on that car. And I was like, that's what you get for listening to a woman. I'm just joking. I don't mean that. I mean that. I love you, Laura. She's
no,
not,
you can't back.
She's not gonna
she's
listen
not
to this.
listening. It's
I'm gonna cut
fine.
that out of the
No, she
YouTube part.
isn't.
So there's a lot of
She's
cars.
probably making tea and biscuits right now.
Well,
You know what?
what car is that?
I don't know. I just
Motor
went through.
biscuit?
Oh
It says-
my
Oh, that's a
God.
Hyundai. Oh, that's a Aztec.
Oh, it doesn't give
So,
the...
so to me, a car bus would be like, hey, I bought this car, and every time I turn it on, it lights on fire. It's like, that's a bust to me.
That's
Like,
why I was like, what
of
is
course,
that?
you're gonna have a swing and a miss on cars.
Yeah, there you
but,
go.
Oh, there's the DeLorean right there.
Yeah. So they had like obviously this is cool as shit because it was a Back to the Future car, but like it had those, they call them, I don't even know what kind of doors you
Suicide
call
doors?
those. They're not suicide. They're like
Oh.
I don't even know what
Butterfly?
doors you call. I don't even know what you call them. Asshole doors.
Let's call them butterfly doors.
Is that what you call them?
I don't know.
I don't think it's butterfly.
It's
I think
not suicide.
I think it's dragonfly.
I wish we had a fact checker that would check on things like this. If we
That would be
did,
so great.
it'd be incredible. He's like, what do you call the doors in the DeLorean?
What kind of doors are on the
DeLorean.
How do you spell
DeLorean?
DeLorean?
I was like, man, where's that autofill?
DELOREAN.
Gull wings. Everybody knows that. Seagull wings.
Gull wings.
You gotta have those gull
Obviously.
wings.
Gull wing doors.
So Lambo doors slide up. Suicide doors open the opposite way.
That's right.
For those
You're
of you
right.
there.
And then gull wing doors open like the DeLorean.
Who nobody else put that on their car.
That's
John DeLorean was like, what if the doors went up? And everybody was like, that's a terrible idea. And he was like, I think I'm going to do it. I think we're going to...
Wait, what's this called?
The Chevrolet Citation.
That was a failed experience from the beginning.
Yeah, they didn't even try hard on that one.
Hey, my decision was a Chevrolet Citation or a Ford Rape. I went with the Ford Rape. It was a bad decision.
Cadillac's on here.
My dad buys I feel like my dad has owned all of these cars. Like he buys the ugliest shit. Like I think he had one of those for sure.
No brand, just Yugo.
He's like they weren't popular when they were built, but they're popular now. It's like no, they're not.
Oldsmobile. Are they out of business? Oldsmobile's out of business.
Oldsmobile doesn't make any cars anymore. They were a part of Pontiac and Chrysler,
That's right.
GMC,
and they were bought out by
whoever. I mean, they don't make them anymore.
Yeah.
You know who drove an Oldsmobile? All the old people.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, that's
The
what
GM EV. So this is probably one of the first electric vehicles. Do you all ever see the documentary on the first electric vehicles?
No.
So GM put out this electric vehicle. It's a really good documentary.
If you're into cars.
But they only, if you're into anything, just in conspiracy theories.
No.
So they put out all these cars and they only leased them to people. And then for some reason, GM was like, we're not allowing anybody to buy the vehicles. And so and mostly it was in California, but they just took all the cars and they crushed them. They were just like, no, you can't have them. So people said they were walking by the lot and there's just all these electric vehicles sitting out there. And they said they weren't the best technology, like you could go like an hour without having to recharge or whatever. But I mean, obviously they're better now, but they were like, they're just going to crush them. The guy, there was people like, I want to keep it. And they were like, no, I'm sorry, you can't keep it. They only leased them.
Did you see that, not to get off topic, but Ford F-150 is coming out with an electric F-150?
That's bullshit.
And it's supposed to have, it has 2 electric engines and it's supposed to have more horsepower and torque than the Ford Raptor.
Are you predicting the next big bust?
I'm just saying.
Torque, it could have torque, but I don't think it's going to have the same horsepower. There's no way. The Tesla sports car that they're making right now is supposed to have, go from 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. It's just supposed to pick up and go. And I've never driven in one, but they said when you step on the gas pedal, it's the weirdest thing because it's nothing and then complete acceleration because it's battery operated. So it's the way that it's all set up. And I'm obviously a scientist and I know a lot of things, but the way the things are spinning and stuff is together and the way it goes, it's the craziest thing.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we could pull up those schematics, but we don't have time.
Yeah. But
cut the yellow wire.
I think the Ford Contour.
It's Contour. The Ford Contour. For those of you that are French listening.
I think my parents had one of these back whenever my dad was in college.
Only parents had that car. There was nobody else.
My dad used to talk about it. They bought it used, and the brake went out on it the first week they owned it. So they had to use the emergency brake to stop, and then the emergency brake went out. So then they started. My dad said he literally would ram the car into the curb to stop at a stop sign or a red light. He would just grind against the curb and stop. He said he did that for a month, and then the inspection came around. They got the brakes fixed, and then it was good for a week, and then it went back out.
So wait.
So it was a good car.
He also had to start it with a screwdriver, so obviously it was a great.
I love
car.
how your dad's like, all right, can't start it with a key, got a screwdriver. Brakes aren't working, we can get over that. Got the e-brake. E-brakes not working. We got curves. God will provide.
Caleb's dad's you ever seen the Flintstones? So I've cut these holes.
Caleb's dad is the most resilient man you've ever met in your life. He's like,
Dad, the car's on fire. He's like, hey, it's just the heat. It's wintertime. It's going to keep us warm. We'll put it out when we get there. We got snow. It's going to be fine.
He's like, Merry Christmas, everybody gets fire suits. What?
He is a penny pincher, so I can't complain.
Caleb's
Jaguar.
also a penny pincher.
Yeah.
If we had a mic on the center of the table.
Where's the mic at?
I don't know. It's not bought yet. It's going to be fine.
Apparently, I'm gonna buy a bike.
I don't care. I don't give a shit about Jaguar. They're all dog shit.
The Volkswagen.
So I don't know if you guys have ever had a bad. What is the word, Tim? What do you think it is?
Yeah. The Phantom.
The Phantom. The lack of M should.
But
Caleb says Phantom. I was looking at before I bought the car that I have now. I went to a dealership and I was looking at a Volkswagen Tiguan, and I went to see one. It was just like a good deal, like based on the miles it had. And the first guy I went and looked, the first like salesman I went with, he was like, "It's a great car. It's gonna be awesome. Like, come back tomorrow, take it for a test drive. I think you're gonna like it." So I come back the next day to drive the same car. I think it was like a 5-speed. It was a cool little car. I wanted it. I walk up to a salesman and he was like, "Oh, that guy ended up taking the day off, but I'll take you around and show you whatever you want." And I was like, "Oh, I was looking at this Tiguan back here. It's only got like 50,000 miles on it." I was like, he made a face, and I was like, "What's that face?" He's like, "That thing." He's like, "The engine exploded on it." I was like, "Excuse me?" He said, the engine blew on it. I don't know why we have it out here. I'm assuming that guy was going to try to sell it to you. He's like, "I wouldn't buy that car." And I was like, "Oh my God, are you serious?" He was like, "That guy's kind of an asshole." And I was like, "I'm glad that I would have bought it if it drove down the road." He was like, "You would have made it through the test drive. You would have got it home. You would have backed it out the next day, and there would have been a huge oil leak on your driveway." You would have been like, "Damn it." So shout out VW.
I feel like you can't trust salesmen on like car dealers. A lot of them, just because I traded in my old Jeep Liberty, and the transmission was slipping on it, and it literally slipped on my way to trade it in on a different car. And they took it like, "Oh yeah," and I found it online. It was like they put it up for like $8,000. They're like
being a car salesman's not for everybody.
Huh?
Being a car salesman's not for everybody. You got to be a certain kind of person.
That's true. It's tough.
You got to be.
I just wanted to say, I don't know what this Lincoln Blackwood is, but it's like
it's got electricity.
It's got a bed. I don't know what's going on here.
The doors open.
They do underglow. They just put it in the bed. I'm gonna put it right here. Party time.
The Pontiac Aztec, which is the dog shit car.
You know what? I see a lot of those though. That's just surprising.
I was about to say, is that one?
I mean,
all right, what else we got?
I mean, there's a lot of things that if you look through the history of time, there's a ton of things that have been busted. I was looking at video game systems, and you guys probably didn't have it. I don't know if you were too old or too young. The Sega Dreamcast.
Yeah. Well, no, I'll say I remember being like, "Man, I want a Dreamcast." But
dude, I had it. It was terrible. Yeah. There was one game on it that was badass. Can you just search the Sega Dreamcast? It was fucking awesome. I think there was a game called Tanks for it. Yeah, there it is.
Dreamcast 2? Or
no, I don't think they ever made a Dreamcast 2. There it is. Oh my God.
I played this once.
Once, exactly. That's what everybody says. I played this once and then returned it. You can buy one for $100 on eBay. Look at that. You had like a memory. See that?
You can buy one for $41.
You see the screen? Look. You could $41 or $889.
Who would buy them?
Somebody's looking at it like, "I need that one. That's the one that I need."
One.
You see the window on the controller?
Yeah, what is that about?
When you plug the thing that plugs in there is the memory card, and it had like little graphics on it, so it was like pretty badass. It was like, look at all these little graphics on this thing.
Did you own one of these?
I did. I needed one. I was like, I need a Sega Dreamcast, and I got it, and it was like they had Madden on it. Madden was terrible on it. I mean, it just was not a good. It was not a good system. I mean, Sega did their best, but it was basically dog shit. I mean, it was really dog shit. There's been a ton of like video game systems that I remember that have tried to come out, but I mean Sega was like one that actually kind of like people bought it, and it was not very good. It was pretty fucking terrible.
I'll say that video games are not my forte. You know what I thought was going to really take off was the Wii. I'm not saying it's a bust, but we should really
shit ton of
but we should really talk about it. Like, I mean, like, especially nowadays, like, you're moving it, like, you just don't ever hear people playing the Wii anymore.
Well, now they got virtual reality, so you just put that on. You know,
It's just old technology now, I think.
Who bought that as a gift for all their offensive linemen last week? Someone bought it as a gift for all.
Oh, the virtual reality. It was not Eli Manning. I know that.
It was not. He bought them custom fit jeans.
Yeah.
When we get our first real money paying sponsor on this podcast, my first purchase is jeans for Caleb and Mabry. Custom
Custom
jeans.
You laugh about that, but I'm a hard fit. It's a hard fit.
What size are you?
I mean, exactly.
Exactly right.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I always have to get like the right belt to fit around the waist, and then if you bought too small around the waist, then it's too small around the thigh.
Boy, it is tough to buy a belt. Let me tell you, you can't get a belt that's just going to fit and tighten those jeans up.
Not if you want to look professional.
Biggest
Tent.
technology. Technology. There it is.
Technological.
Fails. I love it.
Fails.
Oh, one thing that I saw, the hoverboard. Do you remember they came out? It was like a week on the market. Was the Google glasses?
Oh yeah.
And it was like, so it had like a little screen, and you were supposed to be able to see all your shit. It lasted like 1 week, and everybody was like, "This is the worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life. This is the worst."
I do remember that now. You're like,
it was like, it was like. There was no lenses in the glasses. They just sat on your little nosy.
oh my god, can we watch that video? Only because they're hilarious.
This is Saturday Night Live, yeah. There's a Saturday Night Live skit about the Google glasses too with Fred Armisen.
Oh my god. You can't hear it.
Can't hear it, but it's
still going to be hilarious. Everybody listening at home, you're watching this video. Everyone's
Sweet spins.
especially.
Oh yeah, this is what they used to catch on fire. I forgot about that.
I mean, is catching on fire the worst thing that's ever happened to somebody? I mean, let's go. I mean,
dude, I forgot about that. They were literally catching on fire.
I mean, I returned
90 cell phone batteries powering them.
Small car motor.
I returned a cell phone because the Samsung Galaxy S7 or whatever was catching on fire.
Yeah.
And Rachel was like, "You're not allowed to have that phone anymore."
They were like,
So
people like are falling asleep with them on their beds, and then they're catching on fire. So it's their fault. They shouldn't be falling asleep. It's like, dude, that's not their fault at all.
Your phone should
The phone shouldn't catch on fire regardless of where you fall asleep.
That's what
Who
Rachel
sleeps with their phone?
Yeah.
Like you. Like,
Samsung was like, hey, it's not our fault.
Yeah.
You take your phone to bed, it's on you, bro.
it's like you put it in the sink. Like a normal person.
Yeah, where do you charge your phone at?
Yeah, like what? No,
Samsung's like, if you don't have a fire extinguisher by your bed, that's you. That's on you, bro. That's not on me.
That was a serious conversation between Rachel and I when I woke up one morning. She's like, I couldn't sleep. I was like, why? I was like, I was afraid of your phone catching on fire. I was like,
Rachel's like twiddling her thumbs in bed, like I can't go to sleep. This phone might.
where was your phone on her forehead? Like, I mean, she's just like,
She's like, I heard a text message come in, and I was like, this is on fire.
I had
on fire.
I had a Nokia Windows phone whenever they first came out. That's what.
Did you see the new Microsoft phone, the Microsoft Surface Duo? It's It's like opens up, and it's like 2 phone screens.
It looks like 2 iPads.
So I thought it was a tablet, and I'm watching the video on me and Laura.
It's not a tablet?
And I'm like, well, it is a tablet, but the guy was like, he's like playing games on it, and I was like, that's pretty cool, Laura. And then he gets a phone call, and he folds it in half and answers, and I was like, holy shit! It's a phone? It's huge. It's 14 inches. And they were like one of the things they said on their marketing thing was like fits in your pocket, and you know if somebody says it'll fit in your pocket, you're like, it's not fitting in my pocket for sure. But I was like, I think I need one.
you definitely need one.
I pulled it up online. I was like, Laura, it's only $1,400. I think should I go get it?
It's only our down payment.
I was like, I need that phone.
Ooh, the Yahoo hack. I mean, I think Google kind of ruined Yahoo for everybody. Google. I mean, Google didn't ruin Bing, but
it's like, man, Facebook really ruined MySpace for everybody.
I mean,
Facebook.
It was a damn shame to pick for that Walmart to open up next door.
People are like, Facebook is superior to MySpace. And you're like, no, it's a shame. It's a shame. Yahoo was this close to getting it. They almost had it. Their email wasn't as good. Their search engine wasn't as good. The general overall company wasn't as good, but they were this close. Biggest bust, Yahoo.
Yeah.
Dude, Laura has
fantasy football now.
What?
Oh yeah,
that's true.
They got fantasy football.
Laura has an AOL.
Let me say this.
Wait, let me say this real quick. Laura has an AOL email address, and
No,
when I tell
shut up.
when I tell people,
Still?
they'll be like, "What's Laura's email address?" And I'll be like, "It's I'm not gonna say it." But when I say it, they're like at AOL.com. And I'm like, "It's a real email address." They're like, "Stop! No, seriously, what is it? Is it her name at Gmail?" I was like, "No, she didn't. No, it's not." It's at AOL.com. They're
Dude,
like, who in the fuck has an AOL? And she's like, is she still on Instant Messenger? It's like, that's how she's getting in contact with people.
So I'm a firm believer in like if you're used to something, then like you know how to use it and stuff like that. But whatever. Yahoo's fantasy football compared to ESPN's fantasy football is the worst. Like
Yahoo's worse?
Oh my god, dude! Yahoo is like.
Why the fuck are we using Yahoo?
Because Wes wanted to use it, I guess.
Damn it, Wes!
Wes,
where you at?
Where you at, Wes?
You're gonna be on the podcast. We're gonna talk
Wes,
about this.
if you didn't listen to this podcast, we'll know because I'm calling you out right now.
Yeah, Wes. Why did I not get an invite to be a part of fantasy football?
True.
Are you scared?
We need an answer.
Are you scared?
Monday.
I think you're scared.
Podcast drops, Wes. This is the official request.
Are you listening? Answer. Are you listening to our podcast?
We'll know if we're not gonna bring it up. We're gonna know if you're listening or not.
All right, let's take a. We're a pretty good bit in. Let's take a 10-minute break and then we'll get back into it.
Yeah.
Cool. We were talking about Caleb's dangerous phone that he was endangering Rachel's life with. Mm-hmm. I don't even remember the Amazon Fire phone. Does anybody remember that phone?
No,
Nope.
I mean, I don't know.
What do you guys think about? So you have iPhones.
Yeah.
You have iPhones.
Yeah.
Like if
Wait,
one of
what
you.
do you have?
What? I have an iPhone.
Oh, okay.
Like if one of your
It made it
friends,
sound like you didn't.
if one of your friends was to get like I don't know, like a Microsoft Duo
No, my friend.
Dual flip
phone, would you be like weird?
No, my friend Brody Whitlock is for a while used to have the other version of.
Shout out Brody Whitlock real quick.
Yeah, we're gonna have him on the podcast.
No, we're not.
Sure.
No, we're not.
I don't know who he is, but
Yeah,
Dusty says no, maybe he says yes.
We're just assumed that Kayla's met. So I asked Dusty one time if he met my father, and he took it as a personal attack on our friendship. And
Can we keep in mind that I had met Mabry's father in South Carolina twice, and in Huntsville several times, and then we were talking, and Mabry said he was telling a story about his dad, and he was like, "My dad, you ever met my dad?" And I thought he was joking, and then immediately when I realized he wasn't joking, I thought he had a stroke.
well, you know,
And then his dad had the same response.
So whenever he was talking about South Carolina, that was before I was cool enough to hang out with these
That's
two.
right. Caleb's, I mean, you're still close.
Yeah.
I mean, I really shouldn't be here right now, but you know.
You've made the cut this time. It was between you and nobody else, so we went with Caleb. I do not remember the Amazon Fire phone. That sounds like dog shit to me. I don't even. Did it even come out?
I feel like
Did I say
everything.
anything about it? I mean, that's clearly the biggest phone bust of all time. I never even heard of it.
Yeah.
Jeff Bezos was like, "What if I made a phone?" And everybody's like, "That's a terrible idea, Jeff." He was like, "Fuck you. You know how much money I got? He said, I'll make a phone if I want
He's
to."
like, we're gonna set the market on fire.
It released in 2014.
But
35,000 people bought it.
That's not a lot.
It's not a
that's
very,
almost nobody.
That's like 35,000 people listen to this podcast.
He also Jeff Bezos bought 30,000 of them. He was like, "I'm gonna get it kicked off. Let's go. I'm gonna buy the first 30K."
So it was released in 2014, and in September of 2015, it depleted and it went off the market. It looks like.
Of course it did.
Yeah, that's trash.
That's not
Because
very
it's
good.
dog shit.
Yeah, I mean.
The other thing that I was just thinking about as you were saying that was when I worked in college for AgLink
probably, what, in
International,
elementary school
4
or
or 5 years old.
Yeah.
AgLink International, my boss had a BlackBerry that he gave me. And I thought I was like, you could look up the internet, but it was like the slowest thing on earth. So we'd be in class.
But you didn't know it was slow, though. You
Well,
were like,
I was like,
you
dude,
got
this gets
access
the
to
internet. And people were like, the fucking internet? And I was like, yeah, just hold on 7 minutes. But we'd be in class, people would be like, dude, I don't know the answer to this. Pull it up on your phone. I'd be like, hold on. Like, ball scroll, like type it in and be like 6 minutes, I'll get the answer. The professor's like, you have 4 more minutes for a test. Fuck!
Did it make the noise whenever people first put
Dial up?
Yeah.
Dial-up.
Dude, I was like, most of my time on the BlackBerry was spent,
What was that?
most of my time was spent playing Brick Breaker with the scroll ball. When the scroll ball broke.
Snake? Is that the one? The snake is
No, that's, I don't even, I mean, I know what game that is, but I don't know if you
Snake
get that.
is called Snake.
What's that snake game where you say snake? But the BlackBerry was like a sign of like businessmen would be like, I have a BlackBerry, and then like 1 year later, everybody was like, you idiot with your what an idiot! You look so stupid right now with your BlackBerry.
You have a BlackBerry? Are you the stupidest person?
You're a damn moron.
Dude, technology. I remember like during that whole thing, it was like now, like me and Gabby were actually talking about this recently. We were like, it slowed down. Like, you know, for a while, it was just like, here's the new thing. And then I was like, virtual reality is going to be, I was like, we're going to have contact lenses with phones. Like, you know, you're blinking.
Yeah, you're blinking.
You're like, hold on, I got a call.
Fred Armisen does that skit on Saturday Night Live where he has the Google phone or the Google glasses. And he's like, it's so easy. He's like, Google, search Italian restaurants. He's like, go back. See? It's that easy. I was freaking dying because that shit, like when, I remember when 3D TVs came out and people were like, dude, I gotta have one because it's the new technology. And then a month later, everybody was like, these are dog shit. Like, you can't even watch anything in 3D.
I have to wear glasses at home sitting on my couch.
You can buy one DirecTV channel with 3D and it's like PBS. And you're like, this is bullshit. There's nothing even coming out at me.
Actually, PBS is awesome. That's what I'll spend most of my days watching.
This podcast is brought to you by PBS.
Also, Saturday Night Live.
And also...
And the Fire Phone.
And Fire Phone. Amazon Fire Phone. This podcast is brought to you by Amazon Fire Phone. If you don't have one, you better try to get one. They're going in hot.
Just like the phone, we're going to set podcasting on fire.
Fire. Yes, I don't know. The phone. We lost track of time on that one.
Yeah.
The phones is hysterical. I just think it's just like the iPhone came out and then it was like now you're just waiting for the new iPhone.
Mm-hmm. Google Glasses made your top 21 worst products of all time list.
The worst products of all time?
Yes.
The screen's lost again.
Oh, dang. Well, the Google Glasses were a piss poor attempt at trying to do something that I don't even know why you would need it.
Yeah.
Because like, you ever seen the Will Ferrell thing where he's like, it's not that noticeable on your face. You're like, dude, there's a screen in front of your eyes, not noticeable on your face. I mean, it was just a horrible idea.
Yeah.
The same thing with like what Wii came out and then Xbox Connect came out, and you're like, look at this thing, it's almost doing the same thing. Almost. It's like I'm running real fast. We're like, it's like, no, you're not. Like, yeah, I am. That was like my mom was like, if I do Wii Plus every day for 30 minutes, I get my exercise. Like, no, you don't. That's not exercise. Mom. I'm telling you. She's like, no, I read an article online. It's going to give you exercise. Like, no, absolutely not. It's not exercise.
Yeah, that's not right.
You're bowling and you're playing with 4 other people. So your rest time in between is 12 minutes. You're not getting any exercise.
So go back to the top of the list because you were
so just to be clear, this list is the worst products of all time. Like
we got the top here.
I love it. This is the best list I've ever seen. The Ford Edsel. I bet my dad owned one of those.
The 21 worst product flops of all time.
So this is no genre. This is just everything. The Ford Edsel. I almost guarantee you my dad had one of those.
Wow chips. Is that
So,
like
no. You know what those were? Wow chips were the ones that you ate, and then you ate and you just shit your pants. Alestra, they were with Alestra.
Extra laxative. They do know. Extra laxative.
So you would be like, these Wow chips are amazing, and then you'd be like, I'll be in the bathroom for the next 3 hours.
I'm not gaining any weight eating these Wow chips.
Oh my God.
I remember those.
I'm actually losing weight.
Dude, they would like be like, we're made with Alestra, and then like a year into it, people were like, Alestra makes you shit your pants, and they were like, oh yeah, that's right, I forgot about that.
New Coke. What?
I don't even know.
You guys don't remember that because you're young.
Yeah.
Oh.
So they came out with they think New Coke was a marketing ploy to get you to drink old Coke. because New Coke, I guess, tasted like I never drank it, but I guess it tasted like a butthole. You were like, oh my God, give me the old Coke,
So
and they
it
were
tastes-
like, okay.
So it tastes like Pepsi?
I guess so. This podcast brought to you by Pepsi.
Oh, there's Pepsi!
Smokeless
Smokeless
cigarettes.
cigarettes?
That's just vaping, right?
No, vaping has a lot of smoke to it.
It's actually.
It's just you just
it's actually vapor.
It's actually darn it.
Wait, smokeless cigarettes were just the cigarettes company like attempt at not getting you to light their cigarettes. It's like, just don't light it, just suck on it. It'll be great.
Eat it.
Dude, bro, this is incredible.
It's just like candy cigarettes.
First
But
of all,
better.
if you vape, like I don't like you because it's way more like
Obnoxious?
It still goes in your lungs, so basically you're spitting on people when you go, and then you do this release this cloud of vapor that goes out, and then people are like, "It's not smoke." I don't give a fuck what it is. It was in your body, and now it's out here, and it's on my face. Get it off me.
People be doing construction in like a $500,000 house, and I'll be like, hey, you can't do that in here. Like, it's vape. I don't give it. It's worse. That smells like apricots and butthole. Get it out of the house.
There was a guy I worked with in college who got fired because he vaped on the job.
Well, it's just like people thinking like they've had so much data on vaping in a short amount of time compared to cigarettes. It was like 2 years in, they were like, it'll kill you. Like real quick, and everybody's like, I don't know, I better keep vaping for a little longer, and we'll see what happens.
Well, they're like, it's not as offensive. Like it's like no, the cloud is much
more
larger.
offensive.
And they're like, well, it's not smoke. It's in your body. You're
They're like-
basically spitting on people.
They're like, if you smoke it, nothing's gonna happen to you bad for sure. You're not gonna get any kind of sicknesses. We just started, but I'm sure it's gonna be fine.
It's a vapor.
And the people thought the same thing about cigarettes.
And dude, in the 50s and the 60s, they were like, smoke Camels because it'll make you live longer. And people were like, you got to do it. You got to do it.
My doctor prescribed cigarettes.
To my 6-year-old, they were like, you got to get that baby smoking cigarettes ASAP. You got to get some Camel Joes in here.
This podcast brought to you by vaping cigarettes. I don't even know.
Vaping cigarettes.
Is that how it works?
This podcast is not brought to you by any
Yeah,
cigarettes.
cigarettes.
Oh,
No
this is a good
smoke.
one. I remember this Heinz purple ketchup.
I do remember
I remember
that.
that. They came out with the variety pack. They came out with all
Yep.
different colors.
Yep, I remember that.
That was a huge misstep. The Antonin Scalia School of Law.
Really?
Coors Spring Water. If you like expensive water and not beer, try Coors Spring Water.
Coors.
If you want to stay hydrated but still like the taste of beer, Coors Spring Water.
Hold up a second. Segway.
The
Like,
Segway's
like everyone here, like,
pretty shitty. I don't know.
but like a
If
bus,
you're
like it
a
was out
mall
there for
cop,
like
just
police
scroll-
officers rolled on it.
Scroll past the next one. I didn't want to talk about that one.
Wait,
Segway?
I don't know. Cheetos lip balm. That's wait, stop. The Microsoft Zoom. This is a real story that I have.
I had a Zoom.
So Apple iPods came out, and I was like in high school, so I was like, I'm against Apple. It's bullshit. I was like, Mom, for Christmas, I want a Zoom. And I got it, and I spent 1 week with it, and I was like, this is the worst piece of equipment I've ever owned in my entire life. And all my friends were like, have you seen my iPod? I was like, get it out of my face. I got it. It plays music, whatever. Let's keep it real. Have you seen my Zoom? It turns on, and then it shuts off for some reason, but then it'll come back on. I can listen to 12 minutes of music, and then it shuts back off. And then I can download a movie. It'll only take 17 and a half hours. And I can watch the first 30 minutes before it shuts off. It's incredible. It's a great product.
That's what I got a Zoom instead of an iPod back in the day.
And you were just
And
like,
it was-
this is bullshit.
I don't know where it is now.
Harley Davidson perfume.
The Google Glass, we already talked about that.
Are you just gonna skip over Harley Davidson perfume? I mean, what does that like smell like? I mean, like
If I had to guess, not good.
It smells like America.
Cosmopolitan
yogurt.
Bic underwear. Is it like razor blades in your underwear? It's like,
There's
you
3 blades.
Their catchphrase was "flick your bick."
This is incredible.
Frito-Lay lemonade. What were these people like?
Hannah Montana cherries.
That's the last one.
That's just Cheerios. That's just Cheerios.
It's
Just Hannah Montana didn't like. They were like, "Hey, we could name these R. Kelly Cheerios." They're not gonna
sell the same.
They're not gonna sell.
I think it's cherries.
It's cherries. It definitely is
Did I
cherries.
say cherries?
It's not Cheerios.
That has a different spin on it than Cheerios, because
Not bad.
you talk about Hannah Montana cherries.
All right, so yeah, so
How many terrible jokes were made on that? It's like, hey, dude, guess what I just bought? It's like, what? I had them on cherries. What are you going to do with them? I think you know. I think you know exactly what I'm about to do with these cherries. Like, that's disgusting.
I don't know why this. Well, I do know why, but have you seen the episode of Parks and Rec where they do the? If you watch the show, Donna and Tom do the treat yourself thing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so they go out to Beverly Hills and they're like, "Oh, treat yourself," and they get to the thing and they're like, the celebrities are eating their own sushi. Like, so it's the fish that they bought, and so they're sitting at a table, and Josh Groban orders Josh Groban's crab. He's like, "I'll take the Josh Groban crab." And they're like, "That's ballin' as shit. He just ordered his own sushi." It's very funny. That's what it sounds like to me. Like Hannah Montana's like,
Let's say, do you think she's ordering her own cherries?
yeah. She's like, "These are regular ass cherries," but she's like, "These are my cherries." Like,
She doesn't want to say it like that.
She walks into the Publix and she's like,
Where my cherries at?
what is Hannah Montana cherries at?
Her dad, Billy Ray Cyrus, he is something else.
I bet you remember him really well.
I do.
I bet he keeps the horses in the back.
Achy breaky heart, I keep my horses in the back. Achy breaky heart.
Can we get back to this catchphrase by Bic Underwear? What kind of balls do you have to come up with the catchphrase, flick your Bic?
If I had to guess, big ones. Big ones. You think like the marketing meeting was like, hey, I got an idea.
Dude.
You're not going to love it at first, but think about it.
Dude, if you're telling me that those people who do those marketing meetings aren't drinking alcohol or smoking weed or something, then you're crazy, because like to come in and have the audacity to be like, "All right, guys, we're at a multi-billion-dollar corporation. I have the new slogan for the new thing that we need to see." Like, what is it, Bill? Flick your Bic. And they're like, "Oh shit!" Like, the crazy thing is that, like, not only did Bill have the balls to be like, "That's it," then other people were like, "God damn, Bill, you are the that is it. We found it. Like, you're the man." Like,
They're like in the break room, like, Bill's a fucking savage, dude.
dude, like, he's out there getting it.
Like, you understand Flick Your Bic is a masturbation reference?
They're like, none of them. They're like,
That's what.
They're like, oh my god, are you serious? Think about it like that.
That's like that team name at the competition we did like a while back.
Just
a
a kid.
kid. Just a
genius.
Just the kid.
Oh man,
I love it.
Such a good name. Shout out to Just the Kid.
Just the
Team
kid.
name.
Just a kid.
So I'd love to hear your guys' thought on, barring no sports are out of it. What do you think your big? I'm gonna pull a name out that you guys aren't gonna know probably. And Caleb's probably have to search it. But who do you think the biggest fail is of sports history?
In sports history.
You can pick any sport, any year, anything.
Man.
There was a gentleman by the name of Freddie Adu.
Oh God, dude! I was just asking Gabby what happened to him.
I was just about to say that.
So I watched.
Soccer player.
So
right?
I watched Freddie Adu score his first professional goal. I went to the stadium and it was like in New York or something like that.
Yeah.
But they were like, he's the next thing.
Yeah.
I think he played internationally, but in terms of like, so Fredua is his first name. Fredua.
Yeah, Fredua. His last name's.
Oh my God.
Don't even try it.
Avery?
No, that's his last name is Adu. That other name is something
whatever
else.
it is.
But they were like, he was like 15 or 16. They were like, he is the next
He was
thing.
in Sports Illustrated.
Yeah, he
I
was like,
remember.
they're like, he's the next thing. Like, he's gonna be a star across all, like you don't even hear anything about him.
I think I remember hearing about him a little bit.
He's 31 now, so basically he's almost dead. I mean,
Well, if you watched our last episode on the podcast, we talked about money in sports, and international soccer players are the highest paid, except for Roger Federer, were the highest paid people. So everyone was like, "This guy's gonna be."
Can I interject 1 second? Did you hear about the U.S. Open recently in tennis?
What?
Can you pull that up, Caleb? The
We gotta give some context.
U.S. Open. So
You're talking about
it wasn't Roger Federer, Djokovic.
Yeah, he did.
He hit that.
lady
He
in the
hit that
throat.
lady in.
Yeah. I
So
saw it happen. Like we saw it happen. We're like, oh no. But I mean, you can't treat. It'd be like
Dude,
Matt Frazier
wait
breaking
a
the
minute.
rules.
Wait a minute. So for some context, he got mad about a call, and he hit a ball.
He didn't get mad about it.
I thought he wasn't happy about it, right?
Well, he was disappointed. He was a complete professional.
So if you see tennis players, if they're not super happy, they'll just like knock a ball like away, like they're just like ugh and knock it away.
Yeah.
He hit a line judge in the throat, and she was like, oh my god, like she was like, you need to disqualify this motherfucker. Like dude, if he
hit her pretty hard.
If he hit me in the throat with a tennis ball, I'd be like, can I get that back? Let me get that back.
Yeah.
I want that tennis ball back. He was, look at her. She's like, yeah, I'm about to fuck your life up. You understand that to this point in this season of tennis, he was undefeated. Nobody had beat him, and he was probably going to win.
He was on his way to his 18th Grand Slam.
Yeah,
which is like...
And look, he's like, Jesus God, no. We're
gonna do a play-by-play.
Look at him. He's just like,
ball.
boom, boom, and, and he's like, fuck.
He's like,
ah, damn. That guy's like, listen, you can't hit our judges in the throat with tennis balls.
Yeah,
he's like, I didn't mean to.
So we watched this. I was like, that's crazy because they kicked him out. Like he's done. Like this was a tournament. He's out.
Yeah, the U.S. Open. Dude,
that's a big tournament.
You think the guy he was playing was like talking to his coach? He was like, the only way I'm going to win this is if he hits somebody in the throat with a tennis ball. And he did. He was like, oh my god, it happened.
Dude, so
biggest bust.
But
that's the biggest bust.
That sucks. But like the rule is you can't.
That way she just played that.
Dude, well, run that back. Watch the velocity on this tennis ball though. It is quick.
Boom! This girl is like,
dude, right in the throat. I was like, it did not. When I first watched it, I was like, it did not hit her in the throat. Oh, it most definitely hit her in the throat.
Dude, if you were that judge, would you not be like, let him play?
Wow, dude! Like, oh my god.
He's like, fuck. Dude, look at her. She's about to throw up. I think I'm gonna throw up.
How did she not react though? Like, what
dude,
are you watching?
She didn't react. Dude,
there's nobody in the stands. It's COVID. There's nobody in the stands. What are you watching?
She's like, all my friends in high school told me I wasn't athletic. I couldn't see a ball. I didn't have good hand-eye coordination. Well, I'm about to show them. I'm on the biggest stage in tennis. Look at him. He's like, I didn't do it on purpose. They're like, we don't give a shit. You just hit somebody in the throat.
So the rule, that's what I was like, when I saw this happen, I was like, man, that's crazy because he didn't do it on purpose. But the rule is you can't hit a ball with like no regard to it. Like the rule was you can't just no neglect, just pop a ball. Like in there, I was like, oh, well, yeah, he definitely did that. Either what his only counter argument would have been like, she's mouthy. He's like, I did it on purpose. They're like,
I talked to her husband earlier. He said she left the dishwasher full, so I thought I needed to show.
And the judges are like, they're like, well, he didn't do it on accident. He did it on purpose. So
do you think
that's not part of the rules? You can hit a judge.
To be honest, do you think if that lady reacted better, that it wouldn't have been such a big deal? I mean, look at her.
She went
she's
down. She's like, my 15 seconds of fame is about to happen right now.
That guy that he was playing poked the biggest boner on earth when he hit her in the throat. He was like, I'm about to beat this.
He's like,
I'm about to win this.
I mean,
he lost in the next round, and that's him partying that same night. He's
like, I don't give a shit.
I'm super rich.
He's like, I hit all the ladies in the balls of my throat. She should consider herself lucky.
It's the first time I've ever had one complaint.
She only got the tennis ball.
Oh my gosh. No,
dude, that was, when I heard about that, I was like, I don't even believe this bullshit. She was like, she went down like a European soccer player. Dude. She was like, I'm about to make money off this shit.
That's right, yeah.
But I mean, she's like, to her defense though, she was clearly older. And she did get hit right in the friggin' throat. So,
dude, he hardly hit it. I mean, come on, it doesn't hurt that bad. I don't care.
Dude, did you see the velocity? Look, I'm telling you that I agree. Like, I think if she had tried to like compose herself and reacted differently, it would have been a better circumstance. But at the same time, she was clearly not paying attention and got hit in the throat with a rocket.
Do we know what her job was? What was she doing?
She's the person.
She's
I don't know what she calls it. She gets the ball. Like
She's just a ball getter?
So, so what they do is like.
So her job is to get the ball, and she didn't get the ball.
She missed it.
She let it hit her throat. That's her fault.
So I will say this though, there is the question is why wasn't she paying attention? Because he was clearly going to send a ball back to that way. Like he was definitely going to. There is that argument.
I get you.
He was clearly going to tap one, but like his tap was like.
She's gonna teach her kids to keep their eye on the ball.
Yeah, you have to.
She's gonna spank the shit out of her kids. You weren't watching out there. I've got PTSD.
She's like, I've been through some shit.
All right, so we were talking about. So I went.
That was your.
Well, Freddie Adu. Freddie Adu was my. I think I don't know what he did after like his.
He still plays, but he's not like.
So in terms of American soccer, I think he's probably the biggest bust. He's got to be.
Ooh.
He's got to be. I don't think there's anybody else. I don't think there's anybody else that in my mind.
Well, I just remember all the hype that was around it.
He was on. Do you remember Total Recall live on MTV? Like Carson Daly had him on like Total Recall or whatever it was. It was on MTV. Well, Total Recall, yeah, that's what you thought I was talking about. You remember this movie Total Recall, which has nothing to do with this?
That's what I was like. He was on Total Recall. I thought that's where you're going.
He might be in the Olympics, so maybe he's not dog shit.
But on the men's team.
That's like what's that?
Means he's dog shit.
That's like if you were on high school and you made a Pee Wee football team. You're like, I'm gonna be a linebacker for this.
I think that's a good one. I'm gonna go. Jamarcus Russell. I mean, I know it's like.
See, I support that decision because he was.
Dude, he's so much hype, bro.
Can I tell you that? Here's what frustrates me about him is if you told me you can. So the skill set you have now is phenomenal. The skill set you have is great. We loved you in college. Yeah. The skill set was great. All you have to do is when you come in next year, don't be fat. Like, don't be fat. Yeah. And be able to move like you moved in college. And I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I really like Baconators. I don't know about this. Seems like some bullshit.
I mean, the dude couldn't move, and in college his arm was. He's good. He's the guy who could kneel on the 50 and throw it through the field goal post.
Was it?
He had a cannon.
He had a cannon, but it was like it doesn't relate. Like Joe Burrow is not known for his cannon. He's known for his accuracy. Like you got to throw the ball and put it on people.
Decision making, basically.
Yeah, you can't.
Well, he made his. I think he made his career in college. His athleticism was phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Burrow?
No, Jamarcus Russell. Like he was a phenomenal. Which is, I mean, happens. It happens. Yeah, it happens.
Well, he should have tried to get a different position, like tight end or something. You know,
dude, he would have been at 350. He would have been.
Well, here's what sucks though.
Offensive tackle.
The thing that's really like about like the same thing with Freddie Adu is like it's almost like you feel bad for those guys because it like. They were still good athletes, but there was so much hype. Like if you have that much hype built around you, you can either like rise to it or you can crumble. And I don't know.
Well, I think the thing you miss out, the thing that you miss, a lot of people miss is like we talk about bust, but like when you make the decision as a GM or a head coach for 1 year, you had the worst record the year before, and your decision was to take this guy. You can crush a franchise and ruin people's careers based on the fact that you couldn't do what you could do in college, which is definitely the gamble.
Yeah.
But people take that gamble all the time, but you look for people that have played in a system that's more like the NFL, that you think they're going to succeed in.
Yeah.
So I think long gone are the times of where they're like, this guy is athletic, he plays quarterback, let's take him. Yeah. I think that's gone. I don't think teams are going to do that anymore.
The word now is loose. Like Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, they're described as loose, which means is they're all over the place. They make plays happen that should be there. What you want to see is like
they make something out of nothing.
Yeah, what you want to see really, which is great because I mean you're talking about the two best quarterbacks in the NFL right now. But what you want to see is like
Patrick Mahomes,
Trevor. I said Patrick Mahomes was loose. But what you want to see is the Trevor Lawrence, who's like someone was like, is he going to go first overall in the draft next year? Let me tell you something. I'll bet my mortgage that dude's going first overall. Like
unless he blows his knee out.
Yeah.
Knock on wood.
Yeah, don't put that evil on him. But like the dude, like he sits back, like he makes things happen too. But it's like he's not loose. The dude is he controls situations.
Yeah.
If you present a situation that rattles him, he's calm, cool.
That's right.
Like, he controls the environment, and it's like, dude, that's the quarterback.
That's
like
right.
Joe Burrow, his skill set's pretty good, but when you watch him play, you can tell he doesn't let the outside things affect him. He's like, I'm in control.
Real quick, prediction, because you're talking about Joe Burrow a lot. I think Tua is going to be better than Joe Burrow.
I don't disagree with that. I mean, I've heard really good things about him since he's been with the Dolphins, but
I'm a Dolphins fan, so it's tough to.
I think part of the thing is like these guys that control the field, like somebody like Jamarcus Russell when he's in college, and they get to the NFL. It's almost, this is me with no professional sports experience, but you can see how fast the guys are on defense. It's like
different.
nothing you saw when you were in college. So you get out there and you're like, I'll outrun this guy, and that guy's like, my 40 is faster than yours.
Yeah.
You're not going to outrun me. And he tackles you, and you're like, and you're rattled because what you got away with in college, which was escaping all these guys that couldn't chase you down. Now they can. So you have to rely on where you were relying on your speed. Now you have to rely on your decision making and your ability to throw the football and put it in the right spaces. And I think some people will say, you can have a great athlete that does that in college, and they can either be like, I'm going to accept that I have to learn how to throw the ball better, or they can be like, I'm just going to rely on my athleticism. And I think the guys that try to rely on the athleticism don't pan out as well as the guys that are like, I'm going to buy into the fact that I need a quarterback coach. I learn to throw the ball better. I need to get out of my hands faster. My running is my last option.
Yeah.
I do all my reads, and then I run.
The guys that have let their talent, God-given talent, let them, like, they've ridden that the whole way through their high school, college career, don't make it in the NFL.
I agree with that.
Because the NFL has everybody with God-given talent.
That's
the
right.
guys in the NFL are the people that take that God-given talent and then work on it and make it into
100%
perfection.
Yeah.
So that's why people like that fail.
I think that, like, if people are listening to this, I think that what everyone needs to understand is that, like, Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson are extremely athletic, and they run around and they move. And Tua is actually a very, but I mean, they are. That's a good example too. Like they're like those people move around, and Tua's actually right on par with these guys. But what people need to understand is that Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes are really good quarterbacks too.
They are.
Like they are. Like Lamar Jackson has a great arm. He's got an IQ, football IQ through the roof.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when people see Lamar Jackson, they're like, "Oh, he's just a runner." Like that is completely false.
I think
like,
that
he sees the defense.
He sees it and makes plays happen.
I think
he's
the difference is
intelligent person.
He understands that the fact that he's a threat to run opens up things for him to pass because people do different things because they know he could run. He could run.
Kyler Murray, the other night when they played, I looked up the stats because I was like, dude, he's one of those guys, complete, like all of them, complete geniuses. Because, like you said, they know that if they move around, they open up more opportunities. Right. He ran for 13 times. You know how many times people touched him? 1. 12 out of 13 times, he either slid or ran out of bounds. 12 out of 13. That means one time he got touched in those runs. Like, he's doing stuff to make plays happen. The IQ and like is through the roof. Like,
so we got
Ryan Fitzpatrick ran once for a 2-point conversion. So
it was incredible. The speed was unbelievable. What does he run? A 4.1 40? A 4.1?
4.1?
4.2 maybe.
That would be generous.
Okay.
Yeah, 4.2 is probably more accurate.
Him and Tom Brady are on the top of the list for the fastest. So we got Freddie Adu. We got Jamarcus Russell. We got.
I'm gonna go. Probably a lot of people haven't heard this name before, but it's called Mary Cook.
The biggest.
I'm gonna talk to you real quick, Dusty, just because he got his ass waxed on Tuesday morning by Dustin Adair.
Oh my god!
In a squat clean workout, 30-minute AMRAP of 315 squat cleans. So I'm just gonna call that out there real quick.
How much? So Dustin beat him by 5 reps, which how many pounds was that? I told you, 2,000 or 5,000 pounds.
5 times 3 is at least
1,500 pounds.
Yeah.
So Dustin outlifted Mabry by 1,500 pounds at a body weight of almost half.
Oh my gosh! Ooh, biggest bust. Oh.
Biggest bust. Although I was impressed.
Shout out to Dustin Adair.
Yeah, if Dustin Adair is listening.
He waxed.
If you listened all this time and heard this, you're welcome.
If you made it all the way to the end, good on you.
Good for you, bro.
Hey, if you made it all the way to the end, Dustin, we'll test you. I got $5 in my pocket for you, bud. $5 cash.
Cash.
Well, I'll Venmo you. I don't
Coming
got
on
cash on me,
Tuesday.
but I'll Venmo
Get
you
it.
$5. He's coming tomorrow. He probably won't listen tonight. but
Ooh,
coming tomorrow.
I hope he's my partner. Is he texting you now? Has he stopped texting me?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about what's going on. Hey, it's
I'm
not
a little
a
offended.
hey, it's not a competition.
It was a competition
It's not a
on
competition.
Tuesday.
All right, so I think that we should probably. It's been a long
probably
time.
have decent
we should
amount of
probably
content.
we should probably end it. So
Yeah.
today we talked about bus. Next week we'll talk about something different. Please follow us on Instagram at
Facebook.
Reaching for the Bars. You can follow us on Facebook at Reaching for the Bars.
Twitter.
You can email us at reachingforthebars@gmail.com. If there's a topic you guys want us to cover, we'll do our best to respond to any of those. Until next week, guys. All right. Have a good night.
Good time.
Peace.